Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles, and the weekend is upon us, and I've got all sorts of things planned for this weekend, so let's get this video put to bed, and then we can all get on with doing better things. That's right, get up, get out of the house, get out from in front of your computer screen and go do something healthy. I certainly plan to, but first watch this video, and then give it lots of thumbs ups, and then tell all your friends to watch it as well, and then, you know, get out of the house and go and do something healthy. This, first of two, well, I'm not really going to show you the whole replay because there's only one real remarkable moment in this replay. And, as well as that remarkable moment, it's the reaction to that remarkable moment. Do you see that AMX30? Do you see that gap between those two buildings? It's about a metre wide. You can't see the AMX30 anymore. I wonder if he's still there. Gun loaded, gun fired, AMX30... dead. That was one hell of a shot. And if any artillery could pull it off, it would be the French artillery. The AMX-30 driver, however, he really didn't like that very much. And his reaction is priceless. There it is. Nice hacks, RT, to hit me behind buildings. Well, he quite clearly didn't hit you behind a building. He hit you between a couple of buildings, but never let silly little things like facts get in the way of a little bit of righteous indignation. To be completely fair, even Virtual Warrior 12 himself was surprised that it hit, and he says so in chat, but the AMX-30 is having none of this. He's convinced that not only is Virtual Warrior using some kind of wall hack in a game where all damage calculations are done server side, but he's also using an artillery aimbot. But no, according to this guy, Virtual Warrior 12 is in fact a reroll scrub with 9,000 games played, using Warpack. Warpack, by the way, for those of you who don't know, is, well, basically it's a cheat mod pack for World of Tanks. It gives you all kinds of very, very dubious assistance when you're playing the game, but one thing that it cannot do is make shells travel through solid objects. As the T-49 on the team tries to explain to this idiot, but there is just far too much salt flying around at this stage for anybody to start listening to reason. The AMX-30 is a Tier 9 vehicle in World of Tanks. That means this guy has played several thousand games and he still thinks, despite all evidence to the contrary, that it's possible to get shot by magic. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, let's get on with the main event. This is Chris and Yuho, and they're both in E50Ms on the Lakeville map. I really like the E50M. It was my very first Tier 10 medium tank, and, well, it weighs 50 tons. I mean, medium tank. It'd be a heavy tank in anybody else's army, but in the German army, this is a medium. It's very heavy, it's very fast, it's heavily armoured, and it's got a fantastic gun. The rate of fire is a bit slow, but everything else about this gun is fantastic. 2.1 second aiming time, 0.3 accuracy. It's fantastically accurate. The penetration is great. The alpha damage is good, 390 alpha damage. It's a good gun on a good tank. It's kind of like a mini heavy tank. And I don't know, there's just something about the playstyle of the E50M that really appeals to me. Chris and Yuho also appear to like the E50M, if their performance in their machines in this match is anything to go by. Their first move is to push down the central road here by the side of the lake, trying to get some long-range shots off against the bulk of the enemy team as they move into the town on the eastern side of the map. You can see there's only one light tank on their team, the AMX 1357. Grand Finals version from last year's Wargaming League Grand Finals, and there are the initial spots. Yuho's first shot misses, which is kind of unusual in this thing. Chris doesn't miss, however, and gets a useful early hit on that Waffenträger Panzer IV. Ironically, it's the AMX 1357, the light tank, who gets spotted and nuked by a Rheinmetall Borsig, and not the two E50Ms, which are roughly the size of a pair of small angry houses. Not entirely sure what the IS-3 thinks he's going to do here, but if you thought the IS-3 was in the wrong place, just watch this Type 62. This is a Tier 7 premium light tank. He comes around the corner, he spots 3 Tier 10s, and his reaction is not what you would expect, i.e., screw this, I'm getting out of here. No, he decides he's going to charge 3 Tier 10 tanks with his 85mm gun and 50mm of armour. And that works out about as well for him, as you can imagine. Speaking of which, have a look at this IS-4. Have you seen the number of times this guy got hit before an Object 704 finally put him out of his misery? So, Yeah. All kinds of fun things going on this central road down by the side of the lake, and that IS-3 has finally decided, screw this. Screw you guys, I'm going home. You're welcome to it. You can have the road. It's far too hot around here for my liking. I thought coming down here was a good idea, but in retrospect, I've changed my mind. So you can have this central road, and that just leaves Chris and Yuho in the two E50Ms. Now, they've both taken very, very minor damage. However, I think it's fairly safe to say that the majority of the enemy team know they're both here, and they're just waiting for them to break cover. So let's be cautious. Let's wait for the enemy team to get bored and move on elsewhere. The thing is, if you would look at the minimap, you can see a whole bunch of unspotted enemy tanks that were last seen down in that southeastern section of the map. And all those friendly tanks that have pushed into the town have not yet re-established contact with them, which probably means that they're all still sitting down there in that bottom southeastern corner with their guns pointed right here. So, in an ideal world, Chris and Yuho would just sit here and wait for the location of those tanks to be revealed by the friendly tanks that are pushing into the town. Unfortunately, we don't live in an ideal world, and the enemy, in the shape of at least an E100 and T110E5, are pushing up through the valley, having killed everything on the team. Not that there was a lot on the team that went through the valley, but they're now threatening both the artillery and the cap. So they take the chance that they're not going to get detected, and they both seem to get away with it, and they come around to help defend the cap. So, they have to deal with the T110E5 and an E100. There is a Rheinmetall Borsig coming to back them up, and of course they also have artillery, and they have a couple of other things going in their favour as well. All of the ground in the valley between the two mountain ranges here at the far western end of the map counts as swampy terrain, which is going to be seriously bad news for that E100. And not too pleasant for that T110E5 either. It's going to seriously restrict their mobility. A couple of things you need to pay attention to, however. In the length of time it took Chris and Yuho to get around here, their team just lost another 3 tanks. Also, while I do hesitate to take your eye away from the main event going on here between the two E50Ms and the two Tier 10 heavies over there, take a quick look at the bottom southeast corner of the map. A Japanese Tier 8 Super Heavy Oh-Ho has just been spotted. You see him down there? Southeastern corner of the map? Just remember that for later. And in the length of time it took me to tell you that, the team have just lost another 2 tanks. And there's a Panzer 58 Mutz pushing up the road that Chris and Yuho just abandoned in order to come back and defend the cap against these 2 Tier 10 heavies. He's got a nasty surprise waiting for him, however, in the shape of a WZ-111 and an SU-101, so I'm not expecting him to achieve great things. Oh, they've just lost another tank. Come on, finish off the C-100. Do not shoot the gun mantlet with heat. Bingo, there we go. Turret front, took him out. Just the T110E5 left. And pay attention to the scores while they're doing this. Ooh, bounced the shot from the E5, sniped the commander's machine gun cupola, which is a penetration with heat, and Chris finishes him off. So, stop, take your breath, have a look around. Oh dear. There's 4 of us. No, there's only 3 of us left. In the length of time it took them to come around here and finish off these 2 Tier 10 heavies, there are now just these 2 guys in the platoon and that WZ-111 left on their team. Oh dear. Batchat spotted. WZ-111 puts a shot into him. Yuho puts a shot into him. Come on, Chris, finish him. Chris isn't going to finish him. Oh well. That WZ-111 really needs to pull back. He doesn't want to be... Well, then again, he can't really pull back. In the ideal circumstances, that WZ-111... Is he going to make it back here? It looks like he's reversing. Yes, good man. These guys need to stick together. Unfortunately, he's going to be pulling back under fire. And so, while he desperately wants... And he's doing it the right way, so well done to him. He's keeping his front pointed towards these guys at all times and trying to get back so that they can mutually support each other with their combined firepower. Oh, he's taken another hit. Not good, not good. Come on, guys. There we go. That's pulled one back. Scores are now 8-12. There's somebody in the cap circle. It's not the IS-3. He's down there in the low ground. And then Yuho starts taking hits from the Batchat. And they start actually doing damage, so screw that. Use the repair kit, pull back. Batchat can do a lot of damage in a very short period of time. If it hadn't been the Batchat, he might have just rode it out and waited for his crew to repair the tracks manually, but no. Not worth the risk. Got to look after your health when you're outnumbered this heavily. And then, just as I say that, he takes a hit from the IS-3, who penetrates his turret, takes out his gunner. Well, he can't have that. So there goes his repair kit and his first aid kit. And we've just discovered what it is that's in the cap circle. It's an AT-15. So, cap reset. Nice shot, Chris. Got to be very, very careful here. It's likely that the bat chat is reloading, so they need to finish off the... There we go. Good job. Unfortunately, while we're finishing off the AT-15 and taking hits from the IS-3 over there, they've lost the WZ-111. So Chris and Yuho in the E-50Ms are now the last two tanks left on their team. And while up until now they've been largely untouched, in fact completely untouched by the enemy artillery, you have to count on the enemy artillery being in the process of relocating. The enemy team know exactly where they are, so it's quite safe for the enemy M53 to relocate to a spot where he can start raining shells down and potentially hit them both with the same shot because they're packed in so close on that corner. So Yuho decides to break contact, move around the flank, and try to start setting up a crossfire just as Chris takes a big hit from something. Oh, it was the Borsig. There's the IS-3, and wouldn't you know it, it bounces. And the very surprised IS-3 takes his tracks off and then scuttles down into cover just before Yuho can reload. But Chris has taken out the Borsig. He's looking for the killing shot, and he's got it on the IS-3. Right. There's still something in the cap circle, though. What could it be? Chris at the back there being a bit cagey. Yuho poking, trying to get the spot. Oh my god, it's an Object 704. That's not what you want to see pointing at you. Not that BL-10 gun. Oh crap. There's the bat chat. It's a one-shot kill. He doesn't have a target silhouette, but he takes the shot anyway because, hey, you never know. And you notice he didn't get spotted when he poked the corner there and saw that Object 704. So the object still doesn't know that he's here. His gun's pointing in this direction though. So let's be cautious. The problem here, of course, is that if he does get spotted by that object, he doesn't just have to worry about the object. That bat chat is going to be in a position to shoot at him as well. Oh, Chris just took 532 damage. That wasn't the bat chat. That has to be the artillery. Artillery's relocated and is in a position to fire. They've got to kill this object. They can't afford to hang around and just get whittled away by the artillery. Yuho pops out, takes another shot. Again, the Object 704 doesn't react. Chris is under fire there. That may be the bat chat firing at him. Which means that maybe Yuho can get lucky again. He's going to be able to get the first shot off and then just pull back before the object spots him. And I think the object's clearly had enough of just sitting here and getting shot at. So he is going for Chris. Yuho's able to get one shot into him, but it's not going to be enough. Chris is trying to back up, but no, the object's got him. Oh, shots hitting Yuho's turret there from the bat chat, but only the one shot and then a narrow miss from artillery. He's able to kill the Object 704. No more shots coming in from the bat chat. And the bat chat managed to fire without giving his position away, so where the hell is he? There's plenty of concealment up by those farmhouses up there. The question is, how many shots does the bat chat have left? I only saw him put one shot at Chris, but then again we weren't really watching Chris. And one shot hit Yuho, so, well, he could still have some shots left in the magazine. Oh, there he is. And he did have a shot left in the magazine, but not enough. And now he has the longest 6 or 7 seconds in Yuho's life as he waits for his crew to get his tracks back up, knowing that the artillery is reloading. I'm sitting here watching this part of the replay and I'm just thinking, no, don't sit there, move! Because, well, down that road, over there, down to the far eastern end of the map, that's where I imagine that the M53 is going to be. And yet Yuho doesn't seem to come to that conclusion. Now, I admit I'm not the world's greatest authority on detecting where artillery's firing from. I often play with Quickie Baby, for example, and he's got it down to a fine art. He'll be saying, right, artillery's firing from here. I'm like, how do you know that? I mean, and sure enough, that's where we find the artillery. And yet for artillery to be able to do that 532 damage to Chris as he was all but pulled back around the corner of the mountain, and then to land that shot near Yuho as he did, he's got to be up in sort of A or B, 8 or 9 area of the map. At least that's how I see it, but Yuho appears to have other ideas. I'm not entirely sure what he was expecting to find when he came down here. Is he actually looking for the artillery? Well, it's not the artillery that he's going to find. It's the OHO. There he is. Now, he hasn't been spotted by the OHO, and he is actually down here looking for the artillery. So, a bit of a miscalculation on Yuho's behalf here, and it's almost going to bite him in the arse. You're not going to find that M53 down here, sunshine. That OHO, by the way, do you remember earlier on when they were fighting the T110E5 and the E100, and I said, pay attention to that OHO's position? Yeah. How the hell... Oh, by the way, they're being capped. So, I was right. The artillery was up in the top north-eastern end of the map, and he's taken the opportunity to sneak in and start capping. I'm not entirely sure how Yuho thought that the artillery was ever going to be down here, but, well, he did. He was clearly looking for him. And look at this guy. He's basically been sitting there for the last 10 minutes. That's a 100-ton tank. How the hell do you flip it over? Yuho makes a very dodgy decision here. He decides to stop and kill this OHO, who's still playing, obviously. I mean, his turret's moving around, but he's just been sitting there on his side waiting for his team to come and flip him back over for the last 10 minutes. Now, firing at this guy is giving his position away, so the M53 knows that he's coming, and it's also slowing him down. And while the E50M is a fast machine, there you go, he's killed the OHO. But this is a treacherous path. There's wreckage of tanks all over the place. The T-44 was one of the, if not the first tank killed, has just slowed him down even further, and that M53 is capping. And he knows he's coming, and because he spent that time finishing off the OHO, there's no time for him to do anything sneaky like double around the other side of the map and come up through the valley, so he has to approach this M53 from the obvious direction, and he is going to be waiting. And look at the cap timer, 91. Oh, where is he? Where is he? Where? Actually, where is he? No, 100. Where is he? There he is. He's killed him. But he's capped to 100. Was that within 5 seconds? Has he won? Has he lost? Join us in the next episode of World of Tanks with the Mighty Jingles, when we'll be answering that question and more. As always, folks, take care, and I'll catch you next time. Nah. I wouldn't do that to you. Not on a weekend. That would just be cruel. I'm an evil gnome overlord, but I'm not a sadist. He did, in fact, win. He managed to get that reset off just in, even though it didn't actually reset. But he managed to kill the last tank on the enemy team within 5 seconds of him capping to 100. So, Yuho did actually, despite some extremely dodgy decisions, manage to save the day there, and did over 7,400 damage in the process. So that was Yuho PL and Chris PL, both from the Fire Clan in the E50M on Lakeville. And that's it for the weekend. Have a good time, folks, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.